MLB The Show 23's content is all but wrapped up, which means we have almost every single card we're going to have in the game. And with that, and 5 sets worth of brand new cards and 6 sets worth of cards to play through, there are a lot of starting pitchers to pick from, and it can be a bit overwhelming. So today, I'm going to go over the 10 best starting pitchers that I think you should be using in Diamond Dynasty and ranked seasons. I'll give a couple honorable mentions as well, and I'll talk about why I think some of these cards are in this list, and which version of these cards I think should be on this list, because a lot of them have several different 99s. With that being said, these are just my opinions. If there's a card on this list that you don't like or think is better than somebody else higher or lower, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your guys' opinions on what I'm saying. Just this is from my personal experience. These are the guys that are going to put you in the best position to be successful. Our first honorable mention, there's going to be 5 of them, is going to be 99 All-Star Johnny Cueto. Fantastic release, sinker cutter release. I mean, he's just really good. The hit per 9 is fantastic. Pitching clutch is max. This card could easily be a top 10. He's definitely one of the 10 best righties in the game, but just outside the top 10 overall. A starting pitcher that's really similar, and another honorable mention, is Al Leiter. 99 Kaiju Al Leiter, sinker cutter. Great release. He's always one of the best left-handed pitchers in the game. Really good per 9's the best we've ever seen from an Al Leiter, actually. Fantastic lefty. If you don't mind guys who throw soft and you like some good control with really soft contact, he is going to be amazing for you. Sticking with another lefty for an honorable mention, and probably one of the cheapest options in this, definitely price matters a little bit. Madison Bumgarner, 120 hit per 9, 125 pitching clutch. Again, sinker, cutter, sweeper. He has a really weird little delivery that a lot of people struggle with as well. He's a really easy 5th starter to just throw in there if you're short on stubs or just want to try out a lefty. I think you should give him a shot. He's really good. Another honorable just outside the top 10 is this 99 Roki Sasaki from the World Baseball Classic. Outlier on both his sinker and his fastball. First outlier pitcher on this list at all. I don't love his speed differentials as well, and that's mostly the reason that he's not in the top 10. If you can hit a fastball, you'll probably hit Roki, but that is okay. I still think he's great, and people haven't seen him since set 1 and 2, so he's definitely an honorable mention. And speaking of set 1 and 2, we have everybody's sleep paralysis demon from set 1 and 2. Bob Gibson's charisma card. Bob Gibson has not gotten a whole lot of love over the years, but this card redeemed it all. He's one of the best pitchers of all time in real life. Outlier in the fastball, really hard slider. If you guys have faced Bob Gibson, you know just how deceptive and how good this guy was. The maxed out pitching clutch early in the year really showed how strong pitching clutch was too, because he got significantly harder to hit once a guy got in runners in scoring position. Bob Gibson is awesome, and he's probably number 11, but he's going to be an honorable mention. Now for the fun part, starting at number 10, Tarik Skubal's 2023 finest card. This card is really, really good. He was a BR Flawless reward, and he has the same pitch mix as Bob Gibson, just from the left side. Obviously, no outlier on him. The stats are way better. 112 BB9 is unbelievably good, and he has a really, really sneaky delivery where the ball kind of jumps out, and especially that slider, it is very hard to read and very hard to hit. He is a very deceptive arm slot, and a lot of guys who compete at a higher level really like this guy. There is a reason for that. It's just because he is super sneaky good. I do wish he had an outlier or something of that nature, but it doesn't hold him back fully. I like Skubal, and I think he's number 10. At number 9 is Nolan Ryan, aka Ryan Express. I do think this is the better version of his card. Nolan Ryan kind of needs control to be good in any given year. This one has more control than the other one. Nolan Ryan is probably the only pitcher in this game with a 4-pitch mix that it just really works. Or all 4 of his pitches are very, very good. He's really a boom or bust kind of a card, though. If people can hit fastballs, and I've seen a lot of Nolan over the years, he's probably not going to be the best in the world. But sometimes Nolan and his fastball, which to me is the best fastball in the game with its outlier, coming in at what feels like 105, 106 at times. Sometimes just that alone is a win condition. Your opponent cannot hit that hard of a fastball coming in like that, accompanied with the crazy slow changeup that tunnels so well with it. So Nolan Ryan's really good, and an occasional win condition, just based off his potential to game wreck, he has to be in the top 10. So he's a number 9. At number 8 is starting pitcher milestone Yu Darvish. 120K per 9 is unbelievable. 111 hit per 9. Great pitch mix. He has good speed differentials on everything. Slurve, cutter, sinker, splitter, fastball. That's pretty fast. This card does pretty much everything right. And the only issue is I don't love his delivery. I think it's pretty good. This Yu Darvish is awesome. He's the quote-unquote worst in a string of right-handed sinker cutter guys that I'm about to go over. Any of them are all preference, really. I think Darvish is one of the best right-handed pitchers in the game. Just I think the other two are a little bit better, and I'll tell you why in a second. At number 7, 99 Incognito, Dustin May, Big Red. Great hair, 6'6". I swear pitchers that are taller in this game are just a little bit better. Something about their arm angle, and pitches just have way more perceived break. Big Red is fantastic. Outlier on the sinker, another sinker cutter guy, like I mentioned. I think he's a little bit better than Darvish. Despite the per nines being worse, his arm slot is better, and he has outlier on the sinker, and his fastball is just faster in general. If you have Darvish and Big Red, I'd probably go Big Red first, but that is just personal preference again. I think he's really good, though, and the outlier on the sinker, that is one of the better sinkers in the game, is that Dustin May. Up and in sinker to righties. It's really hard to hit, especially if speed is just not something you catch up to all that often. To me, Dustin May is the 7th best in the game. At number 6, we have 99 Shohei Ohtani. I would want to put this card a little bit higher up, but the stats are fantastic. But the 74 BB9 just does not allow me to put him any higher than this. Numbers jump off the page with a great hit per 9, great pitching clutch. He has outlier on the fastball, maybe the best pitch mix in the game, and then obviously he hits and has all the hitting quirks in the world. His hitting stats are unbelievable. Like, there's so much that this card does well, and if we didn't have a DH this year, he'd probably be the singular best card because he would be able to fill in for that pitching hitting spot. But the 74 BB9 just cannot get him over the hump into the top 5. He is a collection card for set 5, so if you've been playing the game and keeping up, he's definitely worth it. There are other 99 Ohtanis out there as well. I think this is the best one of the group, and I do think that he is the number 6 starter in the game. At number 5 is a lefty that I never thought would be in a top 10 starting pitcher list, especially at the end of the year, but here we are. Jesus Luzardo, 2023 finest for the Marlins. He had a fantastic season over there as the Marlins ace. 109, 115, 109 BB9. Mwah, chef's kiss. So good. Fastball, sinker, slider, changeup, cutter. The pitch mix that everybody wants. It's about as ideal as it gets. The only difference between perfection is that I wish he had outlier on his fastball. He does have it on his sinker, however, which is definitely a valuable asset for Jesus. This card is awesome. The break on all of his pitches are very good. His control is solid. His arm slot is pretty good. He does so many things well, and he does so many of them well enough to get outs, whether it's soft contact or strikeouts. He kind of does a little bit of it all. Jack of all trades, and one of the better lefties in the game, especially when it comes to sinker cutter. Probably the best sinker cutter lefty in the game. I really like him, and he's number 5 in my rotation in MLB The Show 23. The number 4 starting pitcher is Cy Young Corey Kluber. This should not be a surprise to many people. Corey Kluber has been a nightmare for years and years and years, and this is one of the best versions of him we've gotten. He throws harder than he did the last couple of years at 95, 96 with the sinker and the fastball. 108, 117 on the per 9s and 125 pitching clutch is pretty much ideal for a starting pitcher. And the 120 BB9. I had Ohtani originally over Kluber on this list when I first wrote it, and then I just remembered how crazy it is that a Kluber, who already has really good control typically any year, has almost maxed BB9 and it gets to maxed at P5. This card is honestly just a nightmare. He is so good, and I'm happy Corey Kluber gets another great card. We don't know how many of them we have in years to come, so enjoy him while you can. He's number 4. At number 3, another 2023 finest card, Kodai Senga, a rookie for the Mets. He had an unbelievable year, and his famed ghost forkball just took the world by storm this year. He was fantastic. This was a 12-win flawless card for the event, so he is the most expensive card by quite a lot in this list, and realistically that should probably bring him down, but I do want to have him at number 3 to highlight just how good I think he is. Maxed hit per 9, 118K per 9, max clutch, pretty much as good across the board as it gets. His pitch mix is unbelievable. Fastball, cutter, forkball. It's a really good forkball too. Slider, slurve. There's no outlier. That is definitely an L. Maybe he'll get it next year once they give him quirks. I know quirks aren't just given right away to rookies. So the 85 BB9 is a little concerning, but you get 90 at P5, so it's not unusable. I just think with the way that he throws and his delivery and how his forkball just falls off the table, this is one of the hardest to hit cards that there are in the game, and we haven't seen him for years like pretty much every other pitcher on this list, which gives him that little bit of surprise factor. I think he's awesome and the best righty in the game, number 3 overall. At number 2, get your pitchforks ready, because John Donaldson is here. You knew it was coming. This guy is just one of the best pitchers they've ever given us in any iteration of MLB The Show. Outlier slider is unbelievably broken, coming in at 96, 97, alongside an outlier fastball. All his pitches have different speeds. His pronines are really good. His delivery is solid. I mean, he just does so much, and again, he even hits. So if this was like in years past, if this John Donaldson existed last year, he would be maybe the best card in the game, point blank, period, because of the hitting stats, along with how good he is. But that doesn't matter so much anymore. He is just unbelievable. You guys have seen him. You faced him. You used him. You know. I don't have to tell you. You know. And you know who's coming next. Donaldson's at 2. And number 1 on this list is 99 Randy Johnson. Really, you can pick any Randy Johnson you want. Personally, I think the big unit is the best because you've probably had him for a couple of months. So he has some parallels, he has some nostalgia in him, and he still brings the big unit juice. I mean, he is just so good and one of the best pitchers to ever grace this game. The pronines are insane. The control is fine enough. His pitch mix is like less than ideal, and he's still crazy dominant. I mean, he doesn't have a sinker, he doesn't have a cutter, he does have outlier, but he doesn't have 2 of the 3 meta pitches in this game, and it doesn't matter because his arm slot is so good, his pitches tunnel really well, and he is dominant at every single difficulty, unless it's like, you know, a top 50 guy who's seen him 150 times in the last 2 weeks. Outside of them, he is clearly the best pitcher in the game. And I don't think many of you would argue that. And there you guys have it, a full list of the pitchers that I think are the best in MLB The Show 23. If you guys like the content, make sure you leave a like and subscribe down below. Comment your favorite pitcher this year and one that you strike out the most to. I would love to hear your guys' opinions and thoughts on who is actually good in practice and not just on paper. And I'm going to be going through every other position in the game leading up to MLB The Show 24. It's nice that we have set 6 out, that we can use anybody we want. And having all the options in the world gets a little stressful. So make sure you guys are subbed and tuned in to the next videos that come out, so you'll be able to pick the best to get you in the best position. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Peace.